Recording.
We're back.
Talking about
1 second.
All right, Samson, we're going live. We're talking about
We're live.
every single person in the world is a gem. Every single person in this world is so precious. We're going to see what Rabbi Nachman says about that. God takes pride in every individual Jew. Let's understand that sentence. God takes pride in every individual Jew, even the most minor, even the sinners of Israel, as long as they go by the name of Israel. Gewalt, you just need to have the name of Israel, and God takes pride. There is a unique pride that God takes in every single Jew, and even in each of his limbs, in every single movement he makes. Right? So let's just backtrack for a second. Rabbi Nachman mentioned the fact you could be the most minor, which you may not even be minor. You could just view yourself as minor, but you're really the highest, and you're a major. Rabbi Nachman also talks about the sinners. As long as you have limbs that have the name of Israel, God takes pride. Sometimes a lowly Jew makes a slight movement with his side curl, and God takes pride in this too. So we, like Samson's doing right now. Gewalt. Rabbi Nachman concludes. He never really concludes, but he concludes in this piece. One should therefore never despair of God's help, regardless of any wrong he may have done, because God's love for him will never cease, and he always returns to God. Don't ever think for a second that because I'm not doing X, I can't receive Y from Hashem. Because I'm not doing a specific thing in my day that my friend is doing, quote unquote, serving Hashem, it's okay. You're still receiving from Hashem because you're up. You're there. You're alive. Hashem believes in you because he believes in your name. He believes you can come closer. Your mamash a gem. And I wrote this message, my Shana Aleph. I don't know where my mind was at Shana Aleph. Maybe I was a minor. I don't know who I was. Maybe I'm a minor now too. Parent and child. Child can have so many issues and values that parents may not want. But a parent will always love their kid unconditionally. This is a Shana Aleph note from Jack Stepner. It's such a beautiful message. You could do all the wrong in the world, but you know deep inside your parent, meaning Hashem in this instance, has unconditional love for you. He'll do whatever it takes for you to be pleased and comfortable in being in this world. We just need to open our eyes to it, understand that we matter so much, because Hashem believes we matter. Yimir to Hashem, guys. We should all have that self-confidence. Self-confidence in the fact that even if we think we're a minor, even if we think we're not taking all the necessary steps to get closer to Hashem, that Hashem still loves us and he'll never cease. Yimir to Hashem. Guys, questions, comments, anything?
Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad.
It's Gewalt.
The Kolover Rebbe used to scream out all over Zecher Tzadik Levracha. Would scream out Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad to his fellow Yidden.
Also the Karliners in Mei Sharp.
Them as well.
Anyone else have anything to say? Thank you, Samson. Kobe, you have anything to add? John, Leora, Shoshi.
Jack, I just had a quick question.
Yeah, quick
Don't you
question.
think it's a little weird that? Don't you think it's a little weird that like there's not like levels at a certain point?
There's
Like that
not
one person
levels.
could be that, like you said the whole time, that like just because another Jew is doing something else, like doesn't like you don't have to compare yourself. Like on the other end, like you just look at it in a situation that's like, all right, like there has to be good and bad. You know what I mean?
There has to be good and bad, but we also know, and we learned this. We learned this a lot. Rabbi Nachman talks about how we don't know the level that we're on. We don't know our place in this world, and you could take that in two ways. Okay, I'm sinning, chas v'shalom, or in my eyes, I'm a minor. I'm not filling my day surrounded by Hashem. So then you could break. You'd be like, there's no point to this anyways. I don't even know my level. What's the point of getting closer? Or you could be like, Gewalt, I don't know my level, but I know that Hashem loves me either way on whatever level I'm on. So that then gives you strength, or should give you strength, to continue to motivate yourself to get from level to level. Even if those levels don't really exist because you don't know where you place, but it's just motivation, knowing that Hashem is there for you. No matter if you mess up, He just wants you to return to Him and understand that He's there. So we could really just look at other people and be like, Gewalt, he or she is a Jew, and Hashem loves them. Therefore, there's no need to judge other people or compare ourselves to other people. Yeah, it's nice to look at some people and take some motivation, gain some motivation from them. But pretty much it. If someone else has anything to add, please feel free.
Jack, I have a question.
Yeah.
Sorry, I lost my voice. Excuse me, but I think that somebody that doesn't have that like direct zrizut and that like desire to be close to God may think that, okay, because I'm a Jew, that's enough, right? Like I don't need to necessarily try as hard or like be like on the right derech because I'm a Jew. And like despite that and despite my faults and my shortcomings, like God will still love me. So how do you answer to someone that has that perspective?
I think that's great within and of itself. It says up here, honestly, I don't even know why I didn't start with this. Rabbi Nachman says, thank you for asking that question. I don't know if this answers your question. If someone else has an answer, please feel free. I'm not the Rebbe here. I'm just a messenger. But when a person realizes that he's on a very, very low level and far from God, this itself is a reason to feel encouraged. Before this, he was so far from God that he did not even know it. Now at least he knows it, and this itself is a sign that he's drawn closer. Just by understanding that Hashem loves you, automatically you're drawn closer. Yeah, you might not have that motivation, but you're drawn closer. You're not like, it's not like you're staying put, like this. If you know that Hashem loves you, you love Hashem, you're going to build towards it. You're going to build towards that building a relationship. Yeah, what do you say, Moshe?
What do I say?
Yeah.
I say as John quoted in the chat, a holy rabbi in France said that there are some Jews that put on tefillin more and some Jews that put on tefillin less. There's some Jews that light Shabbos candles more often, some Jews that light Shabbos candles less often. But I'll add to that is thank you, John, for don't quote me on that. Say it's the Chabad Shaliach in France, in Paris, I believe. It's not in my name. But I will say that it says in the Tanya by the Alter Rebbe of Shner Zalman of Liadi, the first Lubavitcher Rebbe, said that when a person's learning Torah, the whole Sha'ah, in every hour, and whatever, I'll translate that word in a minute, the whole Sha'ah, he should remember Hashem. So the simple meaning of the word Sha'ah is hour. but like it's explained that once in every hour while a person's engrossed in their learning or engrossed in their studies or whatever, in their job or whatever they're doing, a little moment, a few minutes in out of an hour, they should think and say, well, I'm working, I'm doing schoolwork in order so that I can fulfill Hashem's will, in order that I could do more mitzvot, or in order that I could do whatever I want. But another meaning of the word sha'ah, we know that Rav Tzadok HaKohen of Lublin says that the first time a word's mentioned in the Torah is where its meaning comes from. So Rav Tzadok HaKohen says the word sha'ah, the first time it's mentioned in the Torah, it's mentioned by Cain and Hevel, and it's mentioned in terms of the korbanot that Cain and Hevel brought, that Hashem turned Husha'ah, Hishah, El Korban Hevel, he turned to Hevel's Korban. Taking this definition and the fact given to us by Rav Tzadok HaKohen of Lublin, that the first time it's mentioned, meaning to say that Sha'ah means to turn. Thus, the Alter Rebbe is really saying that the whole Sha'ah, we should turn to Hashem. At any moment in time, all it takes is a little turn. So that person who says like, that it's good enough for him in what he's doing now and he doesn't want to advance, all it takes is a little turn. So I don't have to encourage him. I mean, I do, of course, but I don't have to say to him, you should be doing everything more. All I have to say is maybe put on tefillin one more time a week, or maybe light Shabbos candles one more time a month. And with those little turns towards Hashem, we have no clue, we have no idea how much that can influence a person. And even more so, I could bring it down to an even smaller level. One little smile that we give to another Jew could get them to turn their whole lives around. That's all I have to say.
That's also the avoda, is even turning, just turning. Maybe not even doing action, like putting on tefillin one more time, but even just turning to Hashem is the avoda. Also, the like Moshe said with the smiling, affecting other people. You don't know the effect you can have on other people. It's amazing. Yeah, iPhone. You don't have to raise your hand.
So back to
yourself.
Yeah. Back to what Leora was saying about like her question about God and just being a Jew and thinking that that's enough. I once heard this like mashal of a sister with two brothers. Like, I'll just use myself. I have two brothers, right? And like, not necessarily this is true, but let's say I would do anything for both of them. They're both my brothers. I care for them. I would drop everything at their call, right? But then there's also this idea that like, if one of my brothers, it's a two-way street. One of my brothers might be more of like in communication with me all the time. We FaceTime every day. He picks me up from the airport when I need him to. He helps me out. I help him out. It's a real relationship. It's not, I love the other one. He's still my brother. Like he's still like the same way. We're always still Hashem's like children. But there's this idea of like having a relationship and putting this active effort, if that makes sense.
Leora, I hope those answers. I mean, with Moshe and the Chaver over there, iPhone, 2 iPhones. We have 2 iPhones. We have iPhone 1 and we have iPhone. It's amazing.
No, today I'm Samson Shift's iPhone.
Oh, today
so you know.
Moshe. Samson Shift iPhone. Okay, you're revealed.
No, it was very helpful.
Yimir Hashem.
It was definitely helpful. I'm taking a lot of notes. Beautiful. Like everyone spoke really beautifully. Thank you.
Wow. Amazing. Anyone else have anything to say, share, question?
Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad.
I think I'm not sure who said it, but the fact that like the realization of like Hashem loves you is like the first step, like the most important thing, and then like the realization that like everyone's kind of on their own path and journey, and everyone has like their unique relationship with God. So whether that means that they're going in every day learning, Daf Miyami, whatever it is, or like Moshe said, putting on tefillin once or twice a week or whatever it is, like the fact that like you're connected and you realize that like not everyone's like path to God is the same is like the first step. And then like, yeah, like I think everyone could do a little bit more. Let's say it's a little bit more in your learning, a little bit more in like how you connect to God or whatever it is. Just everyone's got their own path.
So Gevalt, Jordan Bells is basically proposing to us that we should take on one little thing for the next week. So we should just all think about it and hopefully get closer, like we're getting closer right now to the Rebbeinu Shalom. It's a beautiful thing. Thank you, Jordan, for sharing that. Anyone else before we conclude? Very, very chazak. If you want to say Shema Yisrael one more time, Samson.
No, not really.
Oh no, John is ready to say it. John is ready to say it.
On the edge of my seat. Actually, I want to say something else. Because I think Leo's question was very important. I hope I actually remember what it was. But I think there is something that you said was about, there is, Hashem always loves you and you can always return. There's always, tshuva for almost everyone. There is actually some Talmudic conflict there, but more or less for everyone. But I think there's a lot of, especially in our generation, where there's a lot of not observance and just, there's a lot of more, I'm Jewish because I'm Jewish and if my mother's Jewish or part of the tribe, and not so much as what the Rav would call the covenant of destiny or part of the covenant, accepting the mitzvot. Rav Shigar talks about this at length. If I recall correctly, it's been a long time since I read that book. But I do think there is some beyond what Rav Kook talks about with like everyone that has spiritual prowess to it. I'm more of a rationalist, so don't necessarily buy with that so much, which is totally true though. I do think there's something really important about not just acknowledging that people that that they're Jews and I think there is something really important about recognizing that everyone does their own. I think at the end of the day, everyone does their own hishtadlus and religion. I think we kind of see it as religion, and that sometimes can undermine the integrity of the nation, of what it actually started out as at the onset, which really was we came out as an am, as Neda, and that's really what Rav Soloveitchik talks about. That's Brit Mitzrayim, and then when we got to Har Sinai, that ended up we sort of made this covenant with Hashem, and that was the Brit Ye'ud, the covenant of destiny, which was accepting the Ol HaMitzvot. And I think that yes, there are many people who don't keep the Torah, keep the mitzvot. He won't keep Shabbat, he won't keep Kashrut. And many of them, and Shagar makes this point very clear. He says there are people who just don't want to, they totally just reject it. Some just they're ignorant, they don't know, but they fully reject it. And I think there is something about having discussion about it. I think there's a lot of ways we always have interfaith dialogue. I'm talking with Christians and Muslims or whatever. But I think there lacks a lot of intrafaith dialogue, where Chilonim and Chaledim and everybody we can sit down and kind of just talk about it instead of trying to throw things on each other and say you must keep this or you must do that. I think that creates a lot of friction, and I think there are a lot of different reasons why people aren't religious, and it's not like a new thing. It's not like 20th century happened, people just started not being from. There's a lot of scholarship that shows that even back during Tosfot and the Rambam, people weren't keeping Shabbos and other things. So it's not like a new phenomenon, and they dealt with it more harshly actually, at least in the Ashkenazi communities. Yes, Cham is friction, but also Cham could also be whatever the one I told. Oh, Cham, I told you that. The other one was
Chom, lo Cham, Chom.
Yeah, Chom, yeah. Chom. There were two Choms. They had a discussion about this. But I think it's most important. How should we go about this? I think there's a lot of antagonism, and I think that's really a bad way of going about it. And I guess I don't think I necessarily have a solution, but I think at the end of the day, because there are so many different denominations. Unfortunately, I know we're not big on denominations, Moshe, but there are people they define themselves as such. I think the best thing is that if we actually just go back to the root and say, we're all part of Brit Mitzrayim, we're all Yehudim. Let's actually sit down and talk about things. All right, and and from there maybe come to some common ground. We do this, we keep Shabbat because ABC, or, instead of just trying to push it down people's throats, I think having a discussion and dialogue is a much better, more advantageous derech to take. And look, I don't know it's necessarily going to, I don't know that's actually realistic. I think it is, or that it actually will change people. People will become more religious. I don't know if that's actually should even be the goal. I think that acknowledgement of each other and sort of dignifying each other is a first step, because there's a lot of tension. I think that needs to sort of people like get off their dogmatism, fundamentalism, and their nonsense, and sort of just like, we're Jews. People put on tefillin more, people want tefillin less. Let's recognize that. Hope that was fruitful.
Beautiful. Definitely fruitful. Wow, that was beautiful, John. So it's clear to all of us that we could talk for hours and hours and hours just about this one Torah, because there's so many different Torahs and that connect to this, actually, and that connect to every Torah. So it's not weird that we're discussing for an extended period of time, but we should conclude now. I think this is a good time.
If everything's Hashem and Torah, then everything connects. We can talk about anything for hours, Jack.
Exactly.
That's the truth.
That's the truth. Thank you, Bellows. So Yimir Hashem will continue tomorrow. Really, really great discussion tonight. Hopefully we can take away one little thing and apply it to our lives and daven for, and just recognizing, guys, just my one bracha to all of us, including myself, is that we should just recognize every single moment throughout the day, even when we're sleeping and when we think we're not there, is that we're a Jew. And once we understand that and know that and truly know that, we know that Hashem is always, always with us. So Yimir Hashem, guys. Hashem is holding our hands. He's just waiting us for hold his hand. Everyone should have a great night. Health, happiness, and success. Whether you're in Shalavim, getting ready for IDC, whether you're in Shana Bet TVA, getting ready for Aliyah. I don't know if Shoshi's making Aliyah, but
Shem loves you.
Or whether you're Shana Bet Jordan Bellows, Shana Forever, actually, waiting to come to IDC, whether you're connecting bridges like Samson Schiff is, or whether you're in Herzliya. I'm still waiting for the Shabbos plans, Jonathan, but Yimir Hashem. It's always Shabbos. Guys, have a great night. Be well.